You're listening to It's the Beat on the Mighty 1290 KOIL. Once again, here are your hosts, Karen Sokoloff-Javich and Jody Vinci.
We are very excited to have Courtney Kenny Porto with us. She is an artist and a speaker, but you're such an unusual artist, Courtney. Tell us how these ideas come to you.
Well, the ideas come to me in a whole bunch of different ways. It usually ends up I just see something and something else completely comes out of it. I just get a crazy idea.
And you draw it or you paint it?
Exactly, both, either one.
Both, okay.
And my drawing style and my painting style are a little bit different. My drawing is a little bit more realistic, and my painting is slightly more abstracted.
Mm-hmm. And what did you call it? Unrealistic?
Unrealistic realism.
Yeah, don't you love that term, Marilyn?
That is
Isn't that
amazing.
Cool?
Do you do any sculpting?
I don't. I stick almost solely to two-dimensional work. I kind of like things that are flat.
And did you start as a little girl just drawing because you love to draw?
I did, actually. I like to brag that my very first competition I won was a zoo competition in elementary school. I got to see the giraffes behind the scenes.
When was that, last year?
Yeah, right. For those listeners, she looks about 18, but we know you're 23, right? Wow.
Almost. I'm 22.
Oh, 22.
22.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. You've done all this before age 22. You're incredible.
That's
because
amazing.
Everybody should see her drawings. How can they see them? Go online to see them?
I have a website. It's CourtneyKennyArt.com, and Kenny is spelled Kenny.
Right. And you do have showings all over.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I have exhibits
all the time.
All the time, yeah. Generally speaking, within the region. Right now I have a couple upcoming ones in Kansas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's terrific. And you had one at the Jewish Community Center, you said.
Yep.
And you're going to have a seminar called 10 Life Lessons I've Acquired as an Artist.
Yes, that is coming up at the end of this month.
Okay, like Friday, October 25th?
Yeah, October 25th,
okay,
yes.
Friday.
Exactly. And register today because today is the last day to get the $20 registration fee.
Okay.
Which includes lunch. After that, it's $30. So.
Okay, and how do we register your name?
You can just go onto my website, CourtneyKennyArt.com, and then there's a link that says register.
And can you like give us a tease? I mean, like what's one life lesson?
One life lesson? All right, one life lesson. Let's see here. Which one should I pick?
Yeah.
I guess one would be to find the humor in things.
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur and
Isn't
an
that
artist,
a good one?
Awesome.
That is so
I
good.
think everyone's life is extended with humor.
Yeah, it's really important. It's a good coping mechanism for all the frustrations of life, too.
And I think some of your
drawing,
drawings here, certainly you would have to have a quirky sense of humor. You've got a dog's head on a fish.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
And it's beautiful, isn't it?
It
pretty?
is.
I know
It's
it.
so well done.
I know it.
Amazing.
And it's black and white. You
Yes.
do a lot of, most of it.
I do
is black
almost
and
solely
white.
black and white. Even when I do painting, I do black and white. Sometimes I add a little bit of color, but not much.
What's this yarn and acrylic media that you're
I do.
doing?
I've started a series, yarn series. I call it yarning, but it's yarn on canvas. And so the whole thing is glued yarn in kind of a spiral motion. And it looks like a painting from a distance, but up close it's actually yarn.
Really?
Yeah, that is cool.
Oh, my gosh.
And I love this. Okay, you painted this picture of yourself.
Yes.
With a big F on it, circled.
Yes.
So what does that mean, Courtney?
Well, that one's kind of a statement about those days where you feel as if you fail at life. You know, I think all of us.
You were in college when you did this?
I was. Yep.
Yeah.
I was frustrated and discouraged, and that was exactly how I was feeling. But I think we can all relate to that.
At any
Oh,
age, you
yes.
can relate.
Yes.
That is terrific. And here's what you said. I loved it. You said, as Pablo Picasso once said, quote, "The world today does not make sense, so why should I paint pictures that do?"
I like that.
Great?
That's great.
And she said, "I have a passion for the unexpected." You really do. And then many of my pieces are meant to make the viewer feel uncomfortable. I'm interested in manipulating the audience. How interesting.
Oh.
And it's interesting because a lot of my pieces get completely different reactions. You know, one piece, somebody loves it, and then the next person sees the same piece and they're shocked and kind of uncomfortable and appalled by it. Mm-hmm. So
but I love that about you. You take risks, which I love.
Which is amazing for as young
as
as
young
you
as
are.
she is. And maybe that's
really
why, because she's young.
Maybe. That's true.
That's the reason. No, you just go for it, which is great. Because, like, I write songs, and it took me a while to overcome my shyness to get my songs out there.
And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in my presentation too, is getting the guts That's
Yeah,
what I
the
call it. Yeah,
guts. I
It's
love that you
to dive in and do
Right.
what you need to do. It's hard.
Right,
Not
it
being
is.
afraid of failure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Yeah.
big
And
F.
not care if someone doesn't like it.
Yep,
Because
that's enough.
somebody's not going to like it.
Yeah, it's
Of course.
hard, and
Of course.
I'll be
Because
honest.
you're an artist.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
It's scary.
Yeah, totally. I know. You have to kind of blind yourself to and not care. It's hard not to care. But
It is.
as long as you care and you know it's, what you're doing is a beautiful thing and it comes from your heart.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right.
so how can we buy one of your?
All my pieces are for sale on my website.
Okay.
Also, I sell prints of most of them, which is something a lot of people don't know. The pieces themselves are pricier because they take forever, and in order to be able to make any sort of profit, I have to keep them pretty high. But the prints are more reasonably priced, so that anyone can buy a print.
Okay, now your friend is here, Joe, and I see you have a painting of him.
Yeah, he's actually my husband.
Oh, he's your husband. He's your good friend and husband, Joe.
Very good friend, I would say. Yes.
But so you can do this for people. You could,
Yeah.
if you come in, you could.
I
you
do.
know.
I have done several commissions in the past. I'm trying to stray away from them because they get a little bit tied down when someone wants so specific of exactly what they're looking
I
for.
see, yeah.
Takes a little bit of the creativity out of it. But I have done it in the past,
Yeah.
and I'm not to say that I won't ever do it again.
How
Do you-
long does it generally take to create one of your
Oh, that is
pieces?
such a, I get that all the
Yeah.
time, and that varies so much. I mean, I have some drawings that have taken me months, and I have others that have taken me hours.
Really?
And it's
Do you-
not even about the size. Sometimes it's just the connectedness. Like when you're really feeling it, you just whip out a piece and you're like, whoa. And then other days it's more of like a turtle, you're just kind of trotting along.
Do you have a bunch of them that you've started, or do you like start one and have to finish it, or?
I usually only have like 2 max going at once.
Okay.
Because I start to get too scatterbrained if I have more than that. But 2 is okay.
Yeah. Now, do you have that picture of your husband on your wall?
Yeah, I do. I do.
That's terrific.
Well, this is a wonderful, wonderful painting of you. Don't do anything to upset
Yeah,
your
Joe,
wife
you look
at any
great.
point in time. Because we wouldn't want to see anything other than this lovely face of yours.
That's right. Lucky you, but she's so creative.
Yes.
I love it. And every once in a while there's some color, but it's mostly black and white.
Exactly. Yeah, I sometimes add a touch of color, but I think too much color for me is distracting. I know it tends to be what's more popular, but I get overwhelmed by it, so I keep it to a minimal.
I think this is harder with all the shading
black
and
and
white.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you
yes.
kind of can
you're right.
you can kind of zoom in on the details more that way and the
Wow.
form rather than the color.
Yeah. Oh, we're very excited to have you here, Courtney. We need to go online and look at all of her paintings,
Oh,
Marilyn.
absolutely. I see you've been on OmahaMagazine.com.
Yeah, good article on you.
Wow.
That was great. And
Never too soon to get serious. That is awesome.
yeah, it's a great article. You can go online and look at that article.
Yep, that's in her magazine, which is by Omaha Magazine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, we wish you all the best, Courtney. And it's so unusual what you do. We just love it. Thank you for sharing that with us. And tell us again next Friday.
Yeah, it's the presentation is 10 life lessons I've acquired as an artist. It's at Security National Bank at One Pacific Place. And register in advance because we need to know how many people to feed.
And we all know one of the lessons is humor. That is a great
that is one of the
lesson.
lessons.
Love that. Love
We like
that.
that. Well, thank you a lot.
Thank you very
Courtney,
much.
for
Thank you
being here
coming.
today.
Yep. Thank you for coming, both of you.
Yes.